When your divine feminine energy is so much stronger and greater than that of your divine masculine energy, especially when it comes to business or your manifestations, it shows up in many different ways. And a lot of those ways are not going to be serving you. And when you are thinking of, well, what does that actually mean? What does it mean to have too much feminine flow, intuitive energy? Aren't these good things? Aren't these good qualities? Shouldn't I be striving to be more intuitive, more in the flow, more like the energy of water, especially when it comes to my business because you're looking to make more income? Yes, it means all those things. It is good. But when we have too much without a proper container to hold or even mold a lot of that flow, that's when you start to see your energy draining. That's when you start to feel like you're just going with the flow, quote unquote, in life or in business, but things are still not landing. That's where you get your inconsistent income. That's where you get the high highs and the low lows. That's where you start to feel that you have to work hard every single day and it doesn't actually feel good to your nervous system. It doesn't feel good to your body. It doesn't feel good to your emotional state, your mind. It doesn't feel good to your soul. And you're sitting here thinking like, well, I can only really truly work when I feel creative. I can only really truly perform when I'm in the mood to. Only when I'm having a happy-go-lucky and fantastic day emotionally am I able to see my return on investment. Your income should not be based on the consistency of your emotions. And what helps you to make sure that it doesn't rely on your emotional stability is that masculine structure. So, in this episode, we're really going to dive into what that masculine structure actually does and how you can lean into strengthening that divine feminine flow and the divine masculine flow together, not just leaning more on one than the other. You may have a little bit of a weakened divine masculine energy because you feel that your divine feminine energy is easier to stay in, but you'll notice that in the long term, it's not the thing that actually gets you to the end, your end goal, your monthly, your yearly, your quarterly, whatever it is, income goal. It will not get you there if you're just relying so heavily on your divine feminine. So, here are some symptoms when you are experiencing too much of this divine feminine flow and not enough of strengthening that divine masculine right alongside with it. You will avoid creating schedules or offers or frameworks just because you fear that it's going to suppress you in some way. You over identify with being way too spiritual and you don't really hustle or plan. And now, hustling, I understand it's like cancel the hustling culture, but I want to let you know that there is an appropriate amount of hustle every now and again. There's an appropriate amount of grinding that should happen because when we think of diamonds, they're formed under pressure. And so when we don't have any sort of pressure or due date or guideline or structure, when we're running our business, we will start to see those sales fall flat or even our productivity levels fall flat. So there is a time and a space for that hustle and for that planning. But if you're feeling like it's the time to hustle, it's the time to grind, it's the time to plan, and it's leaving you feeling stuck or frustrated or in survival mode, that's when you know that you are leaning way too far into your divine feminine flow, not so much in the divine masculine strength and structure. So, another kind of way that this shows up is that you're secretly judging yourself for wanting the boundaries, wanting the systems, wanting the clarity. It's like you're seeing everyone else online on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube talk about how they have all these funnels and all these websites and all these link trees and all these email campaigns that link to this, and you're just like, well, I really want that, but it's going right over your head. It's like challenging for you to wrap your brain around those systems that could actually serve you, or you have issues even choosing what kind of structure or funnel or flow works best for you, your brand, your mission, and your movement. It's like there's a guilt that's blocking you from actually taking the aligned action. And then lastly, the last point, even though there's so many that I could call out here, but the last one, if this is you, it's that you take action, but it doesn't really have alignment, or you do have some sort of alignment, but it doesn't actually go into an action. So you're just stuck here constantly spinning between two very large extremes. And what this is costing you is your revenue. It's stable revenue. It's like it stagnates. Your impact in your community feels lower or slower, and you doubt that your own capacity is like you don't have the capacity to lead or even serve fully, because again, you're relying so much on your flow state being present for you and everything going right in your day and you feeling comfortable and cozy physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, when that's just not the case every single day. Especially with us women being so hormonal and we go through our own moon cycles every single month, we cannot really rely on a good mood day to feel that we're going to be as productive as we want to be or make as much money as we want to be in our business. So this is why your energy is constantly getting drained and you're feeling pretty chaotic. It's like it's that chaos that only feels good when it's a little bit less chaotic, but then it's mostly chaotic and you don't want to admit that to yourself, even if you actually know it in the back of your mind. So with that, when you get into that kind of state for far too long, you'll notice that you're unconsciously attracting clients who mirror your own avoidance. And that is creating a lot of these loops and these patterns that are frustrating that you are repeating over and over again, but you don't want to. So what you really want to focus on here is reframing structure in your mind, your body, and your soul as safety and an energetic container, not restriction. So many people who have that strength of the divine feminine flow but have a weakness in the masculine structure, it's because they think that they're being constricted. It feels like it's cutting off that flow. And in reality, there's a difference here between you having a flow that is navigating you towards an outcome or a goal and a flow that's just flowing endlessly, but it has nowhere to go. So if you're thinking about, let's say, a hose, okay? Like let's say you need to rinse off something in your backyard. You can totally open in your backyard that nozzle and let that faucet open. But if what it is that you're trying to hose down is 10 feet away from the house, it's going to be really hard and challenging for you to be able to rinse off that item because it's just falling straight to the ground from the faucet. But with the actual structure of the hose, you get to twist that into the faucet, and now you have like 20 feet, 30 feet of a hose that will get you to where it is that you need to go. And the same thing is true for the impact and the income of your business. So you really want to reframe what that structure is as safe, as something that's here to support you, as something that's here to help guide that beautiful flow of intuition and energy that you have to offer. You will learn to blend that masculine energy with the feminine intuition, and then that flow becomes so much more fertile and it's less chaotic. That also creates more predictability so that you can check your analytics, you can actually check the stats, check the numbers, and actually see where it is that you are improving, whether it's your engagement, whether it is your income, whether it is how many pieces of content you were able to push out that week or that month, whether it is your quarterly goals, whatever it is, you will notice that everything is actually falling in line a lot better because we have that container there. That is so soothing for the nervous system. I don't even know like how to begin talking about how good that feels to you. And if your nervous system is soothed, if your nervous system is regulated and you feel like you are thriving, that is when you actually manifest more and faster. You collapse those timelines like never before. Because when you're in that chaos mode and you have all this beautiful divine feminine energy and it has really nowhere to go, or you are putting this energy in places that is not an aligned fit for it, that doesn't actually carry out to where it is that your outcome is, what that goal is, that manifestation is, you will feel so burnt out. You will feel sober, and then it's like I'm doing everything, I'm doing all the right things, I'm consistently showing up, I'm consistently posting, but they're not hitting, it's not landing. Or those sales calls with your clients, there's a miscommunication, you just feel like they're not really right for you. It's like, why does everyone who tries to like come into my business and try to pay me or ask me if I'm right to work with them, why does it always feel like they're not the right ones? Why does it always feel like I have to give so many freebies? Why does it always feel like I have to only do low ticket offers? Why does it only feel like I have to post this kind of content? You get so wrapped up in your head because what is being reflected back to you is that chaos that's happening internally. And a lot of times you don't even want to face that chaos. But I promise you, if you were to face that chaos and actually create a list outside of you, writing it down with your own hand, like these are all the things that are not going well in my business, and these are all the things that are not going well internally, either because of these things that are happening in my business or just because I have these things as limited beliefs or old stories that I'm telling myself, about my life, about who I am as a business owner, about what my value is as a business owner, about who I am to my community. If you write all those things down and you see it outside of yourself, you will start to understand where you need some more of that structure in your life. And it is okay. Even if you fill that page to multiple pages, front and back, that is okay. But look at it. You have to be able to look at the chaos. If you're so afraid to look at the monster in the closet, how are you ever going to befriend it? And I don't even say overcome it, because this is not a battle, this is not a war, this is us integrating those unhealed shadows that we have, that we've picked up along the way, that are impacting our ability to receive manifestations, especially financial ones. So really take a moment here to look at that monster, see all the scary teeth of the monster, see all the fur or the long tail or the jagged nails, and say, you know what? I see all of you. And now that I see all of you, I can figure out how to support you better. And then that monster turns into a friend, and then it's later alchemized and integrated as wisdom and experience. And now all of that chaos, all of that energy, all of that fear, all of that negativity, you actually just get to change it. And then once you digest it, it literally turns into fuel for you that will better serve you moving forward. So here are some more solutions to help you really get that sense of what structure can actually mean and strengthening that divine masculine energy in your business. And when it comes to your just lifestyle in general, what that can actually look like for you. So when you are able to create those frameworks that feel like a scaffolding, not a cage, you will start to feel so much more supported in your expansion, which means that you can honor your soul-led instincts and your divine intuition. And when you have that container, you can just fill it and fill it and fill it and fill it and fill it, and it's no longer slipping out of you. Because when we're thinking of the divine feminine flow, much like water, when we think of money, we think of water too. And so if you are feeling like every single penny that you get has to go straight to bills or always gets wasted, or you have to go and spend it right away, that is showing that there's a lack of structure there. And when you can pinpoint that and create that safety for yourself around that flow, you can then start to see that swell of divine feminine energy or swell of abundance, and it's actually being captured and held in a way that it can expand, and you get to utilize it for what it is that you really need. You can save it, you can invest it, you can plug it into self-care. Like, it doesn't matter what you do with it anymore, because you're not penny pinching, you're not in survival mode. You can actually start to thrive with it because you feel safe that it is always going to be there. And when you stop correlating your money or your income to something that is separate than you and start associating it with, I am the money, I am the abundance that I seek, I am the value, I am the protection, you will start to function and navigate differently in life and in business. And that will also help you to collapse these timelines. And the last thing that I'm going to share here for a solution for you is to really step into your own self-led authority, and doing so with consistent action backing it up. When you do this, you're not losing the magic of your essence or your flow just because you have some structure or a little bit of a routine or some sort of guideline for yourself. As a matter of fact, in my personal business, I have different structures of my day depending on how it is that I wake up that morning. If I'm waking up and I'm super tired and I know that I need some more sleep, and I know that that's going to really reduce the time that I have for work that day, I have a completely different plan of my day. That might not be a content heavy day in terms of me going to the studio, getting dressed with the hair and makeup, looking camera ready, and then coming up with my script or coming up with the content ideas. Like, I probably won't spend my day doing that. I will probably take some of the videos that I've already pre-recorded and then just do some light editing and then go ahead and post it out and schedule it for the next few days. I might actually use that day for work meetings instead of content creation if content creation is the biggest thing of my day. If I have a morning where I wake up and I just feel so energized and I'm so ready to take on so much, and I have my dance class, I have my priorities outside of my business, I have life, I have my friends, I have my family. If I know that I have so many things to do and I'm feeling energized enough to do it, then heck yeah, like I'm going to go to the studio. I'm going to bang out as many pieces of content as I can. I'm going to show up so ready for my mentorship clients. I'm going to be able to serve my people who are in one-on-one Reiki sessions with me to my maximum ability because I'm in the best state possible. But that all depends on me already having that almost like itinerary, if you will, of if I have this energy level when I wake up this day, this is what I do. If I don't, this is what I do. If I'm somewhere in between, then maybe I can just make it up a little bit during that day. But if there's something that I know that I need to do, like let's say that I'm not really feeling hot that day, I wake up and it's just I had a lack of sleep the last couple nights and I'm just a little bit restless and I'm really not feeling good, or maybe I'm on my monthly cycle and my hormones are flaring up and I'm just in pain. If I know that I have a big one-on-one client or even a group healing event, or if I know that I have this one mentorship call that I have to do for my membership, I will make sure that that is the priority of my day, after of course taking care of myself, because that is the thing that always comes first. It is my physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health. Once I have locked that down and I take my time doing so, knowing that I have that one huge appointment or one huge meeting or task that I have to do, that becomes the pinnacle of my day, because I want to make sure that everything that I'm experiencing negatively outside of business or outside of that work call is solid, is handled, is managed to the best of my ability, so that I can still show up as best as possible for my community and for my clients. Because if I am using all of my day to say, woe is me, I don't feel great, I want to cancel, I don't want to create the content today, I don't want to do this, that, and the other, it's going to actually make me feel worse. I'm going to get into like a pity party, because that's just how I function, because I understand my own patterns and I understand my own cycles. I'm going to get into a huge pity party and I'm not going to want to do what it is that I have to do. But if I take a moment to say, you know what, I actually come first, and then this is my first business priority outside of my personal priority, then it allows me to satiate and soothe myself and say, you know what, it is so important that I feel good first, because when I show up for that call, I don't want them to say, oh, she doesn't really look that good today, or oh, she must be tired, or oh, like, why was she late, or oh, this, that, and the other. Like, I don't even want anyone to have an inkling of I'm not feeling great when I show up for them, because when I show up for my clients, I have to be in the best energy possible to serve them, or I will not be serving them to the ability that I absolutely can, that they truly, truly deserve. That is how I make sure that my value stays potent in my industry. I'm not showing up on these mentorship calls in sweatpants with my hair not done and my makeup not done. Like, I'm showing up to the best of my ability, even when I'm not feeling like it, because I prioritize what it is that I have to prioritize first. And sometimes that comes with knowing the structure that I will follow to make sure that that happens. Okay? So I really want you to think here. Where is it in my life, but also in my business, that I have to create some more of that masculine structure? Is it my email list? Is it the way that I am taking care of myself when I wake up in the morning? Is it more personal than it is business? Is it more business than it is personal? Is it a little bit of both? Do I have to do more automated emails? Do I have to have a different kind of online booking system? Do I have to reconfigure some of my clients' schedules to better serve me and where I'm at in the season in my life? Do I have to figure out a different kind of website builder for myself? What is it? Is the client experience that I'm currently creating not up to par with where it is that I'm going? And if not, how can I make that a little bit better? Is there some more research that I have to do in my market, in my industry? Do I have to educate myself a little bit more? Do I have to take a class? Do I have to take a vacation to kind of take a couple steps back and look at my business from the outside looking in as unbiased as possible? And can I put myself in my client's shoes and go through that user experience, that client experience, and assess and say, if I were hiring somebody for the same exact service, how would I want to feel? How would I want to be treated? How would I want this to go? And then adjust accordingly. Don't just rely on your beautiful, magnificent, because it really is truly wonderful, divine feminine flow to carry you throughout your whole entire business if you do not have a structure that will allow it to stay secure, safe, grounded, present, and expanded. And not only that, works for you when you don't feel like it. Right? Because there's some days where you wake up not feeling that great and you don't have a client session. You don't really have to make content that day. You're actually pretty solid. But if you're feeling guilty for taking a personal day, or if you're feeling guilty for taking that vacation, if you're feeling guilty for wanting to do something outside of business on that day when you've been working so hard, what is the point of having your business if every single day is going to be stressful like that? You want to create a business that has the structure that's able to support you when you're having your low days and you don't really feel like you can show up all the way. So take a moment to assess. In my free community, I will be posting consistently every single podcast episode that's coming out for the next few weeks up until January 1st of 2026. I have very specific Awakening Mindset podcast prompts to help you discover where you may be a little bit weak in certain areas when it comes to your divine masculine energy, personally and professionally. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next one.